I use Todoist every day to pretty much run my whole life. I cannot imagine getting things done without Todoist. But how can Todoist help you manage your projects? In this video, I'm going to show you a quick tutorial how you can set up and utilize Todoist to track your projects. Once you sign up for a free account with Todoist, you're going to start right here in today's view. And as you can see, you have a few projects already sort of pre-created by Todoist to help you get started. I'm just going to get rid of them so we start with a clean slate. The interface of Todoist is very simple. So the first thing, as you can see on the left side, we even have category for projects, and that's what we're going to do first. We're going to create a project. Add a project, and I'm going to call this one Project A, give it a red color. And for this tutorial, we're going to stick to Todoist's default view, and that is lists. Even though Todoist recently added boards, the Kanban boards, which I definitely love, we're going to stick to the lists because the functionality of the boards is not so great, and you're going to discover soon why it is so. So let's create a list project, and here is our project A. Project doesn't have any tasks right now, so we're going to add the first task, which I'm going to say it's pre-processing, and hit enter, and our task has been added to the project. Very simple, pretty straightforward. When you add a task to your project, you have also the option to add description. In this case, I'm going to say that the pre-processing takes 10 hours. And once I save it, you're going to see that information appear here on this list. By the way, in this view, you can see you can do a lot more stuff like set the due dates, priority, labels. We're going to get to that in a bit. What we're going to do next is to create two sections, because for this project, I would like to show you how you can group tasks into these sections. And what we're going to do is we're going to create two sort of sets of languages, because each set of language has different workflow and thus different tasks that are happening for these languages. So if you hover below adding the task, you will see the add section option comes up. Just going to click it and say that we're going to create a section for German and Japanese. And then I'm going to hover over here and create one more for French and Korean. Now that our sections are created, I'm going to create all the tasks for both of these sections. Now that all our tasks are added, I'm going to show you how you can add subtasks in case you want to get granular. And for example, translation, if you want to have individual checkboxes sort of or subtasks for each language. Because right now, if we just complete the translation, it basically means we have completed translation for German and Japanese. But if you receive them on different days, you definitely want to keep track of each individual language, right? Because otherwise you cannot complete the task. So when you open the task, in this case translation, here you're going to see the option to add subtask. I'm going to add very simple German and Japanese subtasks, which basically act as a checklist. So now when we go to the main view, you can see that we can see the hierarchy here. So we know that German and Japanese tasks belong to the translation, which then belongs to the German and Japanese section of our project A. It's very important that you structure your project and your tasks well so that you understand what it means. And of course, if you don't want to see this level of detail, you can always collab task. And here you still have the indicator that translation has two subtasks inside of it. Now let's imagine that you want to track your progress. So let's say that German translator has delivered a translation. You just click here and that's how you complete the task. And because this is the first task that I created on this account, I'm getting this nice animation, but don't worry, you don't have it all the time. If you complete Japanese, it's also going to disappear from the list. And here in this indicator, you still see that 2 out of your 2 subtasks were completed. Now, if you're still interested to see all the tasks, even though they were completed, all you have to do is to the view settings and check this thing, completed tasks. Now you can see that the German and Japanese subtasks are showing. And if, for example, I complete the whole translation, it's still going to appear, but it's going to move to the bottom of the section for German, Japanese. This is purely up to you and your preference. The simplicity of a to-do list has its advantages because it's very simple and easy to use, and it gives you a lot of satisfaction when you check some task off. However, if you want to track more statuses, because right now the checkbox only basically tells us if something wasn't done, and once we complete it, it means it was done. But if we need to track more levels of completion or progress of the task, we can utilize in Todoist labels. So for example, if I open the review task, here you can see the labels, and I can add a label and say that for for review, we send the heads up. I'm going to create a new label and attach it to it. And now we can see it's here for the task. So that way you have an immediate information about an action that you took for a different task, even though it still looks like it's incomplete, but you did something. If you want to play with it more, you just have to head to filters and labels, where you're going to find the new label that we just created. And you can, for example, change the color to, I don't know, yellow. And then you can create another label for heads up confirmed when we have all the heads ups for review confirmed by the reviewers. Okay. If I go back to project A, you can see here the color has changed. And if I open the task, I can change the label, let's say, to heads up confirmed. Now, the last thing that we need to do as project managers is to keep track of when the tasks are starting and when they're supposed to finish, so it doesn't fall apart. And in case of Todoist and with lists, the challenge is that you can only set up due dates for your task. So for example, for pre-processing, let's say we're starting today, I can only set that the task is supposed to finish tomorrow since it takes only 10 hours. So I set due date for tomorrow, and you can see here it appears now in our list of tasks. I'm going to add the due dates for the remaining tasks, and now they're added. Also, as you can see, I have uncompleted translation because technically it needs to be done by October 13, which still gives us 15 days. Now, the final thing that I want to show you is how you can track multiple projects and all the tasks from different projects in one view. So in the meantime, I have created another simple project B, which only has small translation, review, and a delivery, and I set their due dates. If you want to see your projects and the task in one view, all you have to do is go into the upcoming view. By default, it's showing as a Kanban board, sort of combined with a calendar, as you can see here, so you can scroll through the other dates. But maybe for simplicity, if we're using the list view for projects, maybe here we can also use the list view. So here you can see that all the tasks are grouped based on their due dates by default. And so here we can already see that tomorrow we have to finish pre-processing project A and translation project B. Scroll down, you can see that we have a review to be finished by next Monday for project B, and if you scroll down, we have NTPE to be finished for project A for French and Korean, because this is the section that we defined for the project. Now, I definitely prefer to have a Gantt chart or one consolidated view of all the projects and all the tasks, because it's very visual and I like it. And in all of the tutorials, that's what I'm suggesting that you use. But in this case, we don't have a Gantt chart because we also don't have a start date for the tasks. So we don't know when they start, when they finish, and what is the duration. We only have the due dates. On the other hand, if you think about it, as a PM, if I know that translation for project A, German, Japanese, is finishing by Friday, technically doesn't mean that I have to do anything for it on every single day, right? Most of the time, you just hopefully trust the translators that you're working on, that they will deliver by the day. So maybe what is important for us is focusing on the tasks that have to be done today. And we also have the peek into what has to be done tomorrow in case we need to remind some people or take some action before the due date. And that's it, my friends. Thank you for watching this quick tutorial for Todoist, and hopefully it will help you and give you some idea how you can use it to keep track of all of your projects, whether they're localization or not. If you like this video and this tutorial, give it a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.